Welcome back everyone to Blender to Unreal Engine 5, the complete beginner's guide, and this is where we left it off. Alright, so now we've got kind of the dimensions of our actual hut that we like. What we're going to do now is build out our roof. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to grab the top of this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift D. So I'm going to basically duplicate just the top of it because I don't actually want this roof to be part of this mesh here. So if I press Shift D, you'll see then that if I pull this up, that it's actually split and it's left one in there. So we've got one in there and one in there. Next of all, what I want to do is I want to bring in a actual edge loop. So if I come to the side of here and press Control R, like so, you'll see that we can bring an edge loop in. Now, what you can also do with edge loops is if you press 7, let's say, on the number pad, it'll bring in 7 edge loops. Depending on where you are as well. So if I go this side, you'll see we get an edge loop in there. And then you can also scroll your mouse up or down and bring in edge loops like so. So there's many ways to work with edge loops. Now I won't discuss actually diagonal edge loops or anything like that at the moment. We'll just keep this simple for now. So what we want to do is we want to put one edge loop in here. So Control R, left click, right click. And then what I want to do is I want to bring this up. Now, if you haven't got this selected, just come over here to edge select, make sure it's selected. And then what you can do is you can actually bring it up like so. Now, the thing is about the Viking huts, as you saw, is the actual roofs, they're pretty steep. You know, the Viking longhouses, they're pretty steep roofs like this. All right, so now we've got that. What we want to do is we want to bring these sides kind of down slightly. So I'm going to grab this one. So I'm going to select this one and then I'm going to shift select this one. That means it'll select both together like so. And then what I can do is I can press 1 on the number pad and I can bring them down like so. Now you'll see as I bring them down, we've actually got them crossing into the, the gray box cube, and we don't really want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press S and X, and you'll see when I press X that we've got a line going across. Now, if I pressed S and Y, you wouldn't see that line there, which means that you would be pulling them the opposite way. So we want S and X to pull it out. And then I can just pull them out, just so they're actually going over these corners like so. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is I want to create this part in here. Now, I want to bring this up now and actually put that back so we've got something in there. So we've got our roof, and then we've got this, I don't know what this is called, like the attic part of the cabin, but it's not actually an attic. So what we'll do is we'll come to face select, we'll grab this part. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press E, pull it up. So what we've done there is extrude. Now, I'm going to go back because I just want to explain that sometimes you can press E and then enter, not realize you've already extruded it. And then what you'll do is you'll press E again, enter, and then you'll pull it up. Now, what's happened there is everything looks the same, but what you'll see is that in here, there's actually another face. So there's another face in there, so we need to clean that up. So what I recommend, if you are a beginner, just make sure when you're actually doing extrude that you only extrude once. So if I grab this now, you'll see it's not extrude or anything. So if I now press E and just pull up with my mouse, you can pull that up nicely up to there. Now I want to bring this in. And the way I'm going to do that is exactly the same way I did with the roof. I'm going to press 1 on the number pad. I'm going to press S and X. So that's scale and X, and then bring it in. Now what you can do is you can bring it into here and then press S and X again and bring it in again. Now, I would also recommend that when you're actually scaling something in, you don't start with your mouse here. So if you press S and X and bring it in, you can see you've not got a lot of control there. It's easy to flick it over. What I would suggest is you press over here, get used to pressing it over here, S and X, and bring it in like so. And then if it still needs going in a little bit, you can just come back, S and X, and bring it in. We're not going to do that though. We're just going to bring it in just so they're nearly actually touching like so. All right, so I'm happy with that. Now what I want to do is, I guess I should focus on putting in no, I'm not. We're not actually going to put in the door yet. We'll do that a little bit later on. I'm just thinking what else I should really focus on with the gray box. I think we should definitely focus out with the actual base. So where is it all going to come out to? So let's actually focus on that now. So what I'll do is I'll come down to my bottom. And it's all about working out how you're actually going to do something when you're modeling. Most of the time, you know, as you get good with modeling, you can actually know how to do something, but it's working out what to use in the right situation. And there's always 100 different ways of doing something as well. So I try and work out how I'm actually going to do something in the easiest way that's going to save me time. So for instance, with the, with the layout of this wood here, what is the easiest way to do that? Well, the easiest way to do that is just to grab the bottom of the hut, press Shift D, bring it down slightly, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my edge select. So all I did was I just duplicated the bottom there, and then I'm going to grab this edge. I'm going to pull that out like so. Now, when we're building the hut out, we need to think of our man here and how he's actually going to be using this space. So it is a Viking hut, so he's basically going to be sleeping in here, living in here in a very small kind of quarters. Probably got no family. Probably comes here to do his fishing or just make your own story in your head, and then you'll be able to build this much easier actually. So now we understand that if I spin this guy around, so if I press RZ 90, so you can spin things around with the rotation button, which is R, and I'm going to spin him around on the Z axis, which means it's going to be facing this way now. And we can see that if our guy was walking down here, he would have easily enough space to come out of his hut and then walk down here, and then he wants to walk around here. So if I grab him here, RZ 90, spin him around again. If I press 1, then I can see it's got quite a good, length from the hut to walk down even with his arms spread. So we want it kind of close quarters, but not too close. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up, grab my edge. So I'm going to grab just this edge, pull this edge out like so. And that looks pretty good to me. So maybe a little bit more. So pull it out down here. So basically, it's going to walk down to here and then walk down the steps to his little boat or something like that. Now, we don't actually really need to build out this part yet because we can actually do that. We just need the main part in there to give us something to actually work with. Now, what we want to do now is we want to figure out now, if I bring him over here, press RZ 90, we want to make this realistic. So is that going to be a big enough space to, have a chimney in there? Is it going to be big enough for him to actually live, sleep, and work in there basically? If I spin him round, so if I press RX 90 and lay him down, you can see that if I put him around here, this would kind of be, let's spin him around again. So RY minus 90, let's face him down like so and put him in there. Now what you can also do is you can click this on and you can actually see in there now what it's actually going to look like. Now what we're looking at here is, okay, so if he's laying down in there, if we actually want to go in this building and he's laying down in there, how much room does he have, for his little kitchen and his little stove and things like that? I would say that it would be good to pull this out probably a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to grab this one here, and then I'm going to grab all of these around here. And it's important to grab all these. Now, there is a better way of doing that rather than coming and shift clicking everything. All you need to do is go over the top, and then you can just press B, box select, and you can grab everything like that. And if I go around there now, you'll see everything's grabbed. And now I can just pull it out slightly like so. Let's turn off our X-ray now. And there we go. Now we do have one problem, of course. We've got the dimensions right, but we don't see our guy anymore. So let's just click on our house. Press H to hide everything. Let's grab our guy now and bring him back out. So bring him back out here. Let's press Alt H to bring everything back. Click on our guy. And all we need to do now is press Alt and R. And all that's going to do is it's going to reset him. Well, it should have reset him to the right dimension. So I'll discuss that now, actually. Let's set him, first of all, on his feet again. So R and X and 90. And there you go, he's on his feet again. Now, let me show you what I mean then. So we have something called transformations in Blender. And basically what it means is it basically says to Blender, this is the transformation that I want to reset. So I want everything to be to this size. This is the size I'm happy with, in other words, okay? So for instance, our guy, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press Control A and we're going to reset all transform. So I'm just going to open this up here and show you what I mean. So once I actually reset this, if you haven't got this here, by the way, just press the N button and then that will open it up. Then you press Control A, and reset all transforms, you'll see all of those get reset to 0. Now, let's say we want to scale him now. You'll see that the orientation of him is actually over here. So what it did was it set his transformation orientation to the center of the world, and it always does that. So what you need to do is when you've reset the transformations, just right click and put set origin to geometry like so. Now on the next lesson, what I'll go through is discussing how and why resetting transformations is important. All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that so far, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.